Hey team, this is Coffee with Mikey. Today we have a dark roast Mexican with grass-fed milk. I also put protein powder in here. This protein powder doesn't really mix well, as you can see with all the not mixed parts in there. Usually the protein powder blends well. Sometimes I'll put creatine in there, but I ran out, so I haven't put any creatine in there. I put some locally sourced honey along with the grass-fed milk. I find that the grass-fed milk as compared to other milks, isn't as irritating on my system. And I've actually been, I used to think I was lactose intolerant. I'm actually not lactose intolerant. It's just the kind of milk I was drinking was irritating my system and causing me um, digestive distress. So it's not a problem anymore because I drink the right milk. Uh, let's see. So dark roast irritates my system and my stomach, right? So I have to put more milk in there. And then light roast kind of gives me a headache, right? Like there's probably too much caffeine in there because light roast is roasted less, has more caffeine in there. Makes sense, right? Um, so there's that. I really would like to start roasting my own beans, right? So I think that's the plan next year. Buy like a commercial coffee roasters. So I do at home have an air roaster that I use, and I get green beans and I source them from different places and I roast them at home. But for like an at-home setup, that's great. But if I want to start bagging beans and selling them, both online and like locally to other businesses, I think that's the way to go to get a commercial roaster, get like in bulk um, beans to roast myself. And there's a company I'm looking at to help me do that. And like I'm a huge nerd. I play D&D. I want to sell D&D like style based coffee with like a story behind it, and that will help finance like my campaign so I can expand it and get more stuff for the crew because lots of people drink coffee. I really enjoy it, and I think it's fun to enjoy that. Hmm. So I probably drink too much coffee, right? Mason jar a day is probably 2.5 cups. For me, when I should really just be having like 1.5 cups. And I want to explore more decaf coffee. I got a few bags of decaf, and I just like the warm, rich flavor um, that I get from drinking coffee, and I enjoy it. Right, so exploring decaf would be helpful as I switch to the afternoons where I'm less stimulated, right? Where I'm still getting like the habit of sipping something, coffee that's like warm and inviting and enriching for me. I have a good feeling in my heart, like the feeling of joy of coffee in my heart when I talk about it. Instead of switching to tea or something like that. Some teas have more caffeine than coffee does, right? Um, so that's it. I've adjusted my routine to wait about an hour to an hour and a half before having coffee in the morning after waking up. And that allows my body to fully wake up. Whatever hormone system works, it doesn't like overstimulate my nervous system as I wake up. And I think nervous system regulation is something I've worked really hard on lately, um, and just being more balanced as I approach the day. Mm. And so instead of drinking coffee, I'll drink water. I'll put trace mineral drops in there just to get like a better sense of hydration. And sometimes I put element in there or you know whatever else I have on hand. I have coconut water. I'll drink coconut water as well, depending on what's available. And I have a burdock root tincture that I sometimes put some drops in there. Uh, it varies by day, but I mean, exploring coffee actually helps me explore and experiment in a very low stakes way with how I go about my day, right? Like I can always add more coffee or more milk or more honey, right, into something. Um, and get a taste for it. I also sometimes like I add protein powder or creatine, just to see how it helps me throughout my day or detracts from what I'm trying to accomplish. And it helps me be more mindful with my consumption. Let's see. So I'm in a master's program with emergent leadership and coaching. And I've been more mindful about doing body scans on where these emotions show up. So anger, fear, sadness, hurt, and joy, where they are in my body, where I feel them when I have these emotions come up, when I'm reliving a memory or just like in the moment with something like, oh, am I feeling fear? Where am I feeling that fear? Right? Just like I said earlier, I'm feeling joy in my heart when I talk about enjoying coffee. So this practice has helped me a lot in my interpersonal life and things at work, where like when I used to feel fear about something, like I recognize it and I can like label it and like, oh, I'm scared that I'm going to get a bad reaction during this meeting if I say this, right? And it makes me more honest with myself about how to respond to something. And that's something we've learned in some of the coaching that we've done so far in the program about, you know, how we are able to deal with our emotions when they come up so we don't overproduce our clients. When we overproduce meaning like I don't outcry my client when they're sad. I don't out anger my client when they're upset. I don't like experience more hurt than they do because it detracts from their ability to process their own emotions as they're recognizing and realizing what's going on when they talk about situations in their life. Um, you know, so I don't outjoy somebody when they're experiencing joy and get like more happy for them and they're happy for themselves. And that allows people to process what's going on in their lives. And that helps us be a very clean mirror, right? So to reflect what that person is experiencing in their own life and help them work through what they're going through and help them accomplish what they want to accomplish in the session. So I realized like during one of the sessions I had with one of my professors, who's the director of the program, that there are some behaviors that I repeat whenever I feel stuck or unhappy or just dissatisfied in my life. And one of those behaviors is listening to a song over and over again. There's actually two songs that I listen over and over again when I feel like I'm in a situation that I feel obligated to be in, but I'm not happy with it. And those songs are the first one being Every Day is Exactly the Same by Nine Inch Nails. There's a cover by the Veer Union. It's an acoustic cover that I really enjoy. Fun fact, I like acoustic covers sometimes more than the original. Um, this one being one of those. Every Day is Exactly the Same by the Veer Union. And the other song being Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. So I feel like I'm stuck in a situation that I don't like, and I keep reliving the same day over and over again, stuck in the situation. I don't like it, and I've found that when that pattern happens, it's time to make a change. It hasn't happened in the last couple of years, but I just, as a reflection during one of the coaching sessions, I was like, oh, that's what happens. That's the first thing I thought about, so I articulated it. So I can see and notice those patterns. The last time I thought about this was I was commuting to Tampa. I live in St. Pete, so the commute's usually 30 to 45 minutes going from my house to downtown, and just being stuck in traffic and being miserable going to a place I didn't really like, working with people I wasn't really happy with. Um, for whatever reason, it just perpetuated the misery. And I don't want to be around that. I don't want to be in those situations. So like now when I notice these things happening, I can make the change consciously. I can say, oh, okay, well, I'm not about this. Let me do something to become happier, to find more joy and satisfaction in my life, instead of reliving uh, the same nonsense over and over again. I don't want to say nonsense, but like the same dissatisfaction over and over again. I want to find something that is more satisfying for me in terms of work, in terms of like relations, in terms of interactions with people that I see every day. So, I mean, the quote, you don't have to like it, you just have to do it. by Richard Marcinko. He's the founder of SEAL Team 6. Like I read it somewhere a long time ago when I was still in the army, and I was like, that's true. I don't have to like it, I just have to do it. So even if I didn't agree or didn't like it, I was told to do it, so I did it because it's lawful order, right? Um, I didn't do anything terrible or bad. I was just like, there's there's better ways to do this, or I just didn't agree for some reason because I was a grumpy person. But I did. So that helped me get through things, even in my civilian life. Where like, well, I don't have to agree. I just have to do it. I don't have to agree or like it. I just have to do it. So it came up. Something else came up when I was having that thought where I had a platoon sergeant tell me idle hands are the devil's workshop, and he told me that in a part of my life that was really challenging. And that like really sparked like in my mind like, well, I just have to be busy, right? I have to be doing something to keep me out of trouble. And that's what he meant, right? Like you have to occupy yourself so you don't ruminate and end up doing something that's regretful. And that really helped me work through some things that in my life today have been beneficial to work through those things. And I'm happy about that. Uh, let's see. And that comes to busyness is all not always like greatness, right? Like you're just doing things to be occupied. Now I work towards doing things that align with who I am as a person because I know what my personal values are. I know I have a system to perpetuate goals that meet my core values, my principles, right? So I have core principles with like family, um, with work, like career, with my finances, with my legacy, and with my health. And those core systems are great for me because that's like who I really am. I like wrote down on paper what those core systems mean to me um, and how they work in my life. And I'm much more fulfilled. I'm so much more satisfied. I'm much happier because I know who I am and I know what I'm about. And I'm doing things that I'm about. Um, I have a detailed winner statement that I can read out that I love. I love that winner statement. I see it every day. It's on my phone. I have it on a giant poster here. Um, of course, it's blurred out, but like, I have this gold poster that's decorated in this winner statement that I can read out loud right now. So I'm so happy and grateful now that my body is vibrant, strong, and pain-free with a powerful core of 185 pounds and less than 15% body fat. Every day, I feel energized and motivated, moving through life with a purpose and determination. With purpose and determination. My health fuels my ambition, supporting me in every challenge and growth opportunity that comes my way. My voice manifests my destiny, creating all that I desire from a pure and loving energy. I'm a confident leader who radiates positive influence. I'm focused on creating lasting solutions, inspiring trust and clarity in everyone I connect with. In business, I'm thriving. My strategic insight, dedication, and expertise generate well over $1 million each year, providing financial freedom for my family. I'm a master deal closer, combining skill with authenticity, making me a trusted leader and collaborator. My success reflects my passion for excellence and my commitment to lasting value. Together, my health, confidence, and business achievements empower me to embrace life fully, consistently reaching new heights and inspiring those around me to pursue their own success. Right? I believe that when I'm my authentic, genuine self, where I am, like I'm not having masks, I'm not faking anything, and I'm showing up as who I really am, that empowers other people to be their authentic selves, right? Like when I'm the lighthouse that shines brightness or the star that shines light on other people so they can shine bright as well, right? Like I don't believe in dulling my shine so other people feel brighter. That's not how that works, right? So I believe in being the candle that lights other candles, right? There's a quote attributed to Buddha that says, um, "A candle doesn't lose its brightness by lighting other candles," and that's what I believe and care about. You know, in that building authentic connections, that brings me to Kevin Kelly, who's a Thousand True Fans. So like there's an article and a video he wrote uh, about having 1,000 true fans. So if you're who you genuinely are and you're putting out information out there, you're going to attract the right people. So if you have 1,000 true fans, people that are going to advocate and buy the things you put out and tell other people about it, that's going to have um, an authentic impact, right, on the people you influence. So my thing is to have people that become master learners and master teachers, people who are constantly embracing lifelong learning, right? And yeah, what is it? Teach. It's learn, do, teach, right? Like in the army, we had crawl, walk, run. You have to learn to crawl before you can walk, before you can run, right? So it's learn something, do something for a while, teach it. Like once you teach it, that's when you start to have mastery over a topic. And that's what I interpret as, yeah, it is me speaking and teaching things that I've learned from my lived experience to help others be more authentic and be unabashed about learning things that they actually want to learn. And if our interests align, I'm happy to collaborate with people on that. Um, then there's just me being authentic. I like to ask people how they're doing, and there have been many times in my life where I'm like, "Well, how are you today?" I'm just in line at the grocery store or somebody just like, "Hey, how are you today?" And a lot of people have said, "You're the first person to ever ask me that, or to ask me that today." Right? And it's like I'm so surprised by it. Just we're starved for human connection and genuine like conversation, and it just doesn't happen as much as we'd like it to. So I want more of that. I want more people to genuinely connect. And it doesn't have to be in a romantic way. It could just be like a friendly, like, hey, how are you? And if that's the only thing I do for somebody in a day, is just like to help them be a little happier or just show a little bit of interest so they feel seen and heard, and not just ignored by the constant drudgery of um, an unjoyous life, I'd like to do that. Like that gives me a sense of satisfaction that, I don't know, just makes me happy. It brings a lot of joy to my life. Is to spread this to spread the joy, right? Um, so I think with me, my next steps for this talk are, continue to do the coffee talks every day. It helps me articulate my thoughts. I'm a verbal processor. So being able to speak out loud, even just in this format, helps me learn more about myself and how I want to continue living my life according to my value system. It helps me, spread the word on things I'm intending to do. It helps me create content for my channel. It helps me refine my practice, and, puts the word out. One of the things that my professor said, Professor Mike, he was saying like, when you go independent, you're gonna have to spend a lot of your time selling, right? And he's like, yeah, 60% of the time you're gonna have to be going to conferences, putting out information, and just like you're gonna spend most of your time getting clients, closing clients, and not doing the thing that you actually want to do, which is coaching. You're gonna have to like, or coaching or consulting, right? You're gonna have to spend a lot of that time working to get clients. And I think having a popular YouTube channel and being able to speak to what I know and what I understand, right, and what I can teach is going to be popular for a lot of people. Yeah, that's it. Take care. Bye.